Hey brother, welcome back to Stoic Love. If you're here, it's probably because something feels off. Maybe her words say one thing, but her energy says another. Maybe you've been sensing a shift, a distance, a crack in the foundation you once thought was solid. Let me tell you this, you're not crazy and you're not alone. Cheating doesn't always scream, it whispers. And today, I'm going to show you the 10 psychological signs a woman is slipping away and what a Stoic man does about it. We won't chase, we won't beg, we observe, we accept, and we act not from fear, but from strength. 1. The moment she begins to fade and you refuse to see it. You've felt it, haven't you? That strange silence in her voice, the way her eyes no longer search for yours. It begins subtly, so subtle you convince yourself nothing's wrong. But that's the lie. And the moment you tell yourself she's just tired, you begin to betray your own intuition. You're not imagining things. She has changed. And the most dangerous part isn't her change, it's your refusal to accept it. This is how betrayal starts, not with a kiss, but with emotional withdrawal that you pretend not to notice. She used to ask how your day was. Now she's distracted. She used to laugh at your jokes. Now it's silence or worse, polite nods. But when you ask if everything's okay, she dismisses you, says you're too sensitive, calls it nothing. That's the first crack. From a Stoic lens, you're not here to beg for her attention. You're here to observe reality as it is not as you wish it to be. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change. But what if no one shows you? What if you must see it yourself? You must accept the pain of recognition, not run from it." This shift in her attention is not random. It's not because of work stress or family issues. Emotional investment, according to psychology, is like water. It flows where it's needed. When it stops flowing to you, it's going somewhere else, perhaps to someone else. The more you deny this, the more you feed the delusion, and the deeper she pulls away until one day you're a stranger, sleeping next to someone who used to know your soul. You need to reclaim your mind before it's consumed by denial. Stoicism teaches you to act from reason, not emotion. When you sense distance, don't rush to fill it with desperate words. Don't fight shadows in the dark. Instead, pause, observe, decide. Because clarity is not given, it's earned through courage. This isn't about attacking her. It's about protecting your self-respect. If you keep ignoring the signs, you'll be the last to know and the first to be broken. So open your eyes. Accept what is. And if the love is dying, let it die with dignity, not delusion. Now comment below. I choose truth over fantasy, no matter how it hurts. 2. The moment she starts hiding the small things and you pretend it's just privacy. She used to tell you everything. The smallest details, how the meeting went, who texted her, what she ate for lunch. You didn't even have to ask. Now you're the last to know. Her phone lights up and she tilts the screen away. She says it's nothing. She says you're being possessive. But deep down, you feel it. The stories don't match. The tone has shifted. Something is off and you know it. This is where betrayal starts to root itself in shadows, not shouts. It's not the big lie that breaks you. It's the hundreds of little ones you weren't supposed to notice. She starts closing tabs when you walk by. She laughs at messages she doesn't explain. She posts selfies without your name in the caption. Suddenly her world feels inaccessible. And when you question it, you become the problem. This tactic has a name: gaslighting. She flips the script to make you question your gut, calls it boundaries, calls you controlling. But your intuition is not control, it's awareness. And a Stoic man doesn't ignore the truth just because it's uncomfortable. Epictetus said, "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them." What are you judging wrong here? You think she's just stressed. You hope maybe she's just tired, but your hope is not helping you. it's hiding the obvious. Psychology calls it compartmentalization. She's dividing her world, one version for you and another version for someone else. You don't exist in both, only one. The public version is being curated without you, while the private one is slowly shutting you out. This isn't privacy, it's isolation. Your role isn't to scream or demand. Your role is to see clearly. You're not here to force her back. You're here to recognize when you're no longer being chosen. A Stoic man respects himself enough to walk away from dishonesty, even if it's wrapped in smiles. You may think it's just a phase, that it will pass, but hiding the small things is never random. It's strategic. It's a quiet rehearsal for a life without you in it. And if you don't acknowledge that, you'll stay in a relationship with a ghost, a presence that only exists when convenient. So trust your instincts, honor what your soul is telling you. You're not crazy, you're clear, and clarity is the beginning of freedom. Now comment below. I trust my gut and I protect my peace. 3. When intimacy feels like a script and not a connection. You touch her, but it feels like there's glass between you. She kisses you, but her mind is somewhere else. Or worse, she becomes more intimate than usual, but it's mechanical, rehearsed. You sense it, don't you? The warmth is gone. The laughter after is gone. The eye contact that once spoke volumes, silent. And you tell yourself, at least she's still here. But is she? When intimacy changes without a clear reason, something deeper is shifting. Women don't withdraw physically for no reason, nor do they suddenly become unusually passionate unless they're masking something. It's either a slow exit or a guilty overcompensation. You're not crazy to feel the distance. You're not insecure for noticing the rhythm is off. You're aware. And as a Stoic man, you must not lie to yourself just to avoid pain. Marcus Aurelius warned, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. Don't estimate her actions based on your desire. See them for what they are. This isn't just about physical closeness, it's about emotional currency. In psychology, intimacy is considered a form of relational wealth. When a woman is giving that to someone else or withdrawing it from you, you're in spiritual debt. She may still act the part, but her soul has left the room. Sometimes she's trying to convince herself that nothing is wrong, that she can still be close to you while her mind flirts with another reality. Other times she's hoping you won't notice because confronting the truth might force her to explain what she doesn't want to admit. You notice the change in tone, the forced laughter, the way her body flinches slightly before contact, or how she initiates intimacy in a way that feels compensatory, not connected. And when you question it, she says you're imagining things, that you should just enjoy the moment. But your job as a man is not to enjoy the moment when the moment is fake. Your job is to stay rooted in the real. You don't react. You observe. You don't accuse. You reflect. That's what makes you powerful. You realize, if she's giving her intimacy like a performance, then you are no longer the audience she craves. And that truth must not be ignored. Don't beg for closeness. Don't settle for performance. You deserve something real, and if it's gone, you must have the courage to let the emptiness speak for itself. Now comment below. I choose truth over illusion always. 4. When every word becomes a weapon and peace feels illegal. She snaps at you for leaving the towel on the floor. She accuses you of never listening because you forgot to reply to one message. She rolls her eyes when you speak, sighs like you're a burden, and picks fights over the pettiest things. You find yourself apologizing, but you're not even sure what for. And deep down, you know this isn't about towels or texts. It's about her guilt, and you're the punching bag she's chosen. When a woman is cheating or already emotionally gone, she starts looking for reasons to make you the bad guy. Because in her mind, if she can frame you as neglectful, insensitive, or unworthy, then she becomes the victim. She convinces herself that she's not betraying you. She's escaping you. That's emotional displacement. And if you don't see what's happening, you'll start to believe her story. You'll start asking, was I too cold? Was I not enough? Did I mess this up? That's exactly what she needs you to feel for her betrayal to make sense. Your worth must shrink. But here's the Stoic response. You do not react to madness with madness. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When she throws emotional fire, you stay in stillness. When she tries to bait you into chaos, you answer with quiet clarity. Do not fight back to prove you're innocent. Do not engage to earn her peace. That is not strength, it's desperation in disguise. True power is choosing peace even when you're being dragged into war. You must understand she's not fighting with you. She's fighting with the guilt she won't admit. You just happen to be in the line of fire. Her mind is split. One part wants the excitement of something new. The other wants to justify destroying something stable. So she distorts the past, manipulates the present, and poisons every word. But you're not here to swallow poison. You're here to guard your sanity, protect your spirit, and leave the battlefield if needed. Not because you're weak, but because you value peace more than false connection. If your relationship has become a courtroom where every day you must prove your innocence, then you're not in love, you're in exile. And a man of value doesn't live in exile. Walk away not in anger, but in power. Not to punish her, but to protect yourself. Because nothing dignified grows in soil poisoned by guilt and projection. Now speak out and comment below. I protect my peace no matter who tries to take it. 5. When her future no longer has a seat for you, she talks about traveling alone. She dreams out loud of moving to a new city. She says things like, I just need to focus on me right now. Or, maybe we're just in different phases. You listen closely, waiting for her to say we, to include you in her tomorrow. But she never does. You're not in her future, not because you've changed, but because she already left emotionally. When a woman is cheating or preparing to her vision of life, no longer includes you. And she won't say it directly. She'll use vague language. She'll act distant but pretend everything's normal. She'll insist she loves you, while silently writing you out of the script. You see, women don't always leave physically first. They leave mentally. They build a life in their head where you no longer exist. And by the time they walk out the door, they've already been gone for weeks, months, sometimes longer. And here's the most brutal part. They'll make you feel crazy for noticing. They'll say, you're imagining things, or why are you being so negative? But your gut knows. Your spirit knows. And if you ignore it, you don't protect love. You destroy your self-respect. Marcus Aurelius said, do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about others. It is not given to you to judge their intentions. So you don't chase. You don't beg to be included in plans you were never meant to be part of. You stand in truth and act. That doesn't mean exploding in rage. It doesn't mean accusing her of everything you suspect. It means stepping back and saying, if I am not part of your future, then I will not sacrifice my present. If she's already halfway out the door in her mind, you don't try to drag her back. You hold the door open and lock it behind her. Because real love doesn't forget to include you. It doesn't erase you from dreams. It doesn't build a better life that doesn't even have your name in it. A man of value does not negotiate his place in someone's heart. He recognizes when the light is gone, and he walks away to find his own fire again. So don't be the man who keeps waiting for her to come back. Be the man she remembers as the one she lost, not because you weren't enough, but because you had the strength to leave when you weren't wanted. Now comment below. If I'm not in her future, I walk out of her present. 6. She fights to escape, not to fix. She doesn't argue to heal anymore. She argues to break things further. Every conversation turns into a courtroom. Every word you say becomes a weapon used against you. You start to realize she's not trying to understand you. She's trying to justify leaving you. You bring up something small, maybe a dinner plan, maybe a delay in response, and suddenly she snaps. You never listen. You always make it about you. Why do I even bother? These aren't just words of frustration. They're rehearsed lines in a script she's writing to exit. And here's the twist. When she fights, she's not hoping you'll change. She's hoping you'll explode so she can point and say, "See, that's why I had to leave." She's no longer arguing to reconnect. She's arguing to detach. Emotionally, she's already on the other side of the bridge. Now she's trying to burn it behind her. You must understand. When the purpose of conflict shifts from repair to release, you're no longer in a relationship, you're in a countdown. Her criticism isn't about your flaws. It's about building a narrative where she's the victim and you're the villain. Don't fall into that trap. Don't defend yourself endlessly. Don't scream to be understood by someone who's already decided not to hear you, Epictetus said. If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. You don't win by fighting harder. You win by refusing to play a game you didn't sign up for. When she fights irrationally, stay silent. Not because you're weak, but because you're wise. Let her drown in her noise while you remain anchored in your peace. Let her throw accusations while you build boundaries. And if she walks away still holding a torch of blame, let her carry it. You don't have to follow the fire to prove your truth. You walk away not because you gave up, but because you chose dignity over drama. You refuse to beg for clarity in a storm she keeps stirring. You protect your soul from battles designed to break you. Remember, a man who keeps chasing her words loses sight of his own value. Don't become that man. Be the one who sees the war for what it is and steps away with silence as his armor. Now comment below. I choose silence over chaos. I walk with dignity. 7. She's already gone, even while still there. She still sleeps in your bed, still eats at your table, still answers your calls. But something's missing and you feel it like a cold wind through a broken window. She's there physically, but her heart has packed its bags. Her mind lives elsewhere, and you're the only one pretending it's still home. You talk and she nods, but her eyes wander. You share your thoughts and she replies with silence or worse, indifference. What used to be warmth is now polite coldness. What used to be love is now management. She manages you like a schedule, efficiently, dispassionately, distantly. This is what it looks like when a woman leaves emotionally before she ever moves physically. She's built a life in her mind where you don't exist. You are no longer part of her future, you're barely part of her now. The Stoics warned about this kind of illusion. Marcus Aurelius said, "Never value the presence of a body over the presence of a soul." If she's gone in spirit, what are you holding on to? A shadow, a shell, a routine that pretends to be a relationship. You must stop clinging to the idea of her. You must stop hoping that consistency in location equals connection in love. You must stop confusing access with affection. Just because she hasn't left the house doesn't mean she hasn't left you. Here's what you do. You open your eyes. You accept what is not what you wish it to be. You don't force her to stay with guilt. You don't beg her to return emotionally. You don't negotiate your worth in exchange for attention. Instead, you do what only a Stoic man can do. You let go with grace. You walk away not because you don't care, but because you care too much to keep pretending. You leave the space so full of your self-respect that your absence becomes a statement. You don't slam the door, you don't shout. You simply step into the silence and let it speak the truth you both were too afraid to say. And if she notices your absence, truly notices, it won't be because you tried to make her feel it. It will be because your presence once carried meaning and your absence now exposes the void. But even then, your goal is not her regret. Your goal is your peace. Because at the end of the day, you don't want someone who stays in your life out of habit. You want someone who stays because their heart never left. Anything less is self-deception. Now speak out and comment below. I let go of who's already gone. 8. You stop recognizing yourself. You look in the mirror and something is off. Your shoulders slump more than they used to. Your voice sounds unsure. Your thoughts second-guess themselves before they even reach your lips. You used to lead. Now you follow. You used to decide. Now you defer. Not because you've changed, but because you've been changed subtly, slowly, and silently. You can't pinpoint when it started. Maybe the first time she dismissed your opinion and you laughed it off. Maybe when you apologized for things you didn't do just to keep the peace. Maybe when your boundaries bent so many times they became suggestions instead of standards. You thought you were being kind. You thought you were keeping the relationship alive. But what you were really doing was fading. You diluted your essence to avoid confrontation. You abandoned your edge so she'd feel more comfortable. But now you're unrecognizable to yourself, and she feels it too. Women don't fall in love with the man who conforms to them. They fall in love with the man who challenges them. The man who stands rooted in who he is, no matter who's standing next to him. When you lose your identity to preserve a relationship, you lose both. A Stoic man doesn't just maintain his calm in chaos, he maintains his core. He does not trade self-respect for temporary approval. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. If you are to be strong, then speak like strength. If you are to be whole, then act like a man who doesn't need permission to be himself." The world, and yes, even your partner, respects a man who remembers who he is. But when you forget, you give everyone else the power to redefine you, and they will, and it will hurt, and you'll wonder how it happened. But deep down, you already know. So here is your wake-up call. Return to yourself. Don't demand she loves who you've become if you don't even recognize that man. Reclaim your words. Reclaim your presence. Reclaim the boundaries that once made you magnetic, not by force, but by alignment. You don't need to yell. You don't need to threaten. You just need to be fully, clearly, and consistently. That alone is enough to shift the dynamic. She will either be drawn back to your gravity or repelled by it. Either way, you win. Because the real win is when you stop abandoning yourself just to keep someone who's already unsure about staying. Now speak out and comment below. I remember who I am and I won't forget again. 9. Her energy feels like a stranger's. She walks into the room and the air changes, but not in the way it used to. You remember when her presence brought warmth, like a pull that made you want to lean in. But now it feels cold, distracted, like she's there in body, but her spirit is off somewhere else, somewhere you can't reach. You ask her a simple question and she answers with distance. Her smile is practiced. Her laugh lands wrong. Even her silence feels loaded, like there's another voice echoing in her head that's louder than yours. You sit next to her, but it feels like you're across an ocean. No arguments, no confrontation, just the invisible fog of disconnection. Here's the part that hurts. She's not even trying to hide it anymore. She thinks you don't notice, or maybe she doesn't care if you do. Because energy doesn't lie. No matter how subtle, no matter how polite the words, a woman in withdrawal will shift the room before she even speaks. And yet, you hesitate. You convince yourself it's a phase, stress, hormones, work. But deep down, your gut is screaming, not out of jealousy, but clarity. You're feeling the weight of a man being emotionally replaced before he's physically left. And that pain is worse than betrayal. It's slow erasure. A Stoic man doesn't beg for presence. He doesn't chase affection. He observes. He accepts. He responds with clarity, not confusion. As Marcus Aurelius said, look things in the face and know them for what they are. Stop romanticizing a connection that no longer exists. Stop interpreting absence as mystery. It's not mystery, it's detachment. From a psychological lens, this is emotional cutoff. When a person pulls away without closure, it's a power play. She may not even realize she's doing it. But the message is clear. I've already left, my body just hasn't followed yet. So what do? You don't chase a shadow. You don't confront her energy with desperation. You reclaim yours. You remember that your presence has weight and you don't shrink it to accommodate someone else's fading interest. You choose solitude over confusion. You choose clarity over guessing games. You choose self-respect over second chances that are never coming. You are not crazy. You are not paranoid. You are seeing clearly. Her vibe has changed, and so must your response. Now speak out and comment below. I trust my gut and I choose clarity over chaos. 10. She starts comparing you to just a friend. It starts subtle. She brings up someone from work. He's hilarious, you'd love him. Then it's the gym guy who gives great advice. Eventually his name appears more than yours in conversations. She smiles when she talks about him. She defends him when you joke. And when you raise an eyebrow, she says, it's nothing. You're being insecure, she laughs. He's just a friend. But deep inside, you feel it. That comparison cuts deeper than a fight. Because now your worth isn't judged on its own. It's measured against someone else's presence in her world. You've gone from the center to a side character. And the worst part, she acts like you're the problem for noticing. When a woman starts highlighting another man's virtues in your presence, she's doing more than sharing stories. She's broadcasting her shift. Emotionally, mentally, she's already inching toward him. She's crafting a new connection, and she's trying to normalize it in your eyes before you even realize what's happening. A Stoic doesn't take the bait. You don't fall into jealousy or explode with accusations. Instead, you understand what this comparison really means. She's not just evaluating him, she's demoting you. She's rewriting the script of your relationship, placing someone else in the lead while you play the fool who's overreacting. Stoicism teaches this truth. You can't control what she admires, but you can control what you tolerate. When a woman brings another man into the spotlight while dimming yours, it's a test not of your temper but of your standard. Will you question your worth or will you honor it? From a psychological standpoint, this is called triangulation, the subtle introduction of a third party to create insecurity and leverage. Sometimes it's conscious, often it's not. But either way, the effect is the same. Your value is undermined while she maintains moral high ground under the mask of innocence. So what do? You observe. You don't compete. You don't chase. You speak once calmly, clearly, without drama. I won't be in a relationship where another man is treated as the emotional standard. And then you step back. You don't fight to win. You walk to reclaim. Because if she needs another man's shadow to question your light, then she was already losing sight of your worth. And remember, no woman truly in love with you compares you, because when she's aligned with you, no other man is even on the radar. Now comment below. I refuse to be compared. I know my worth. So remember this, my brother. Real strength isn't in controlling her. It's in controlling yourself. A woman who hides the truth, compares you to another man, or writes you out of her future is already showing you who she is. Your job isn't to fix her. It's to respect yourself enough to walk away with your dignity intact. If this message hit home, drop a comment below. I refuse to be compared. I know my worth. And don't forget to subscribe for more Stoic wisdom every week. Stay sharp, stay sovereign, and until next time, stand tall, walk silent, and never chase where your soul isn't respected.